No, it's perfect, my man. Matt, Tastic Music. You know what's going on, man. He was saying the whole time, you got to get twisted on. You got to get twisted on. You got to get twisted on.
Sure, sure. That's my bro right there.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm excited big time. I got a little bit of a different background than the other ones. I'm actually reporting live from my hotel in Nashville. I had to come to Nashville to check out with BMI and ASCAP in person, see what's going on over there. But what are you up to? Everything smooth?
Yeah, man. Being a producer, playing the waiting game with all these unreleased shits. You know how that goes. So yeah, instead of working, man.
Nah, most definitely, most definitely. But I know you're a super busy man, so we appreciate it big time. The producer room, powered by producer culture. We got one of the biggest goats in the building. My guy, Mr. Twisted Genius. What's going on?
Twisted genius, baby.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Man, just trying to make it happen. Where are you located at now?
I'm in Georgia. I'm in Atlanta area.
In Atlanta. What are you from there?
Now I'm from Mississippi. From Mississippi.
When did you make the move?
Well, I came back in 2017. Yes, I say I really made the move in 17.
2017. So you made the move in 2017. We're gonna kind of like backtrack to go through your story and everything, but I think this is kind of interesting. You make the move really in 2017, but then stuff really starts popping off with, records with Baby and amongst other things with like Emotionally Scarred and records like that. That wasn't until what, early 2020, right?
Yeah, 2020, late 2019, early 2020.
Yeah. That's the better time frame. Late 2019, early 2020. I think a lot of videos were dropped in 2020, but the songs were out in 2019. Obviously that's not like that's 2-3 years of really like grinding. Like you got to Atlanta in early 17, and what was kind of like your game plan from there? Because things obviously kind of explode early 2020, but talk about some of like those early years where you're really building it up.
I mean, for real, I wouldn't even say I had a game plan for real. Like I just, like anybody else just wanted to get my name and beats out. So, I was just moving a lot, doing a lot of networking. I'm real big on networking and patience is the key to it. So, So I did a lot of networking until, it led me in the right rooms, in the right direction, got my beats in the right hands, in the right ears. And it just exploded. Like you said, it just went up and up.
Yeah, no, it definitely started going crazy. Let's take it all the way back, I guess. So where are you from originally? When did music kind of like first enter your life? Like, how did you even start doing music at all in the first place?
Man, like as a kid, it just been in me. I always just like noise. Like I just hate to hear silence. Still to this day, I don't like to hear nothing. So it's like I used to always listen to a lot of music and just picking up on the sounds like real quick. I was one of them guys who gave me 2 pencils and I'm tapping on every goddamn thing. That was me. You know what I'm saying? So time flew by. I say I was about 11. I got introduced to FL Studio around about 11. And, I started messing with it and I'm like, man, I got this. Like, this is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So once I got my own computer, I just sat there and messed with it. Like, I figured out the program and I stuck with it. Like, it was just in me, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I was born to do right here. And I mastered it, you know what I'm saying? Took some time, you know what I'm saying? But I was willing to put in the time because it was something that I loved, you feel me?
Most definitely. What was it Fruity Loops, or what was that first program you started using? How old were you when you started using it too?
I was 11.
11.
Yeah, and it was FL6. I started on FL6.
FL6.
Yep.
How did you get put on to even knowing what it was? You saw someone else using it, or you heard someone talking about it?
Well, first off, you remember this was around by the time when Soulja Boy was doing his thing.
Yep, going crazy.
And you know what I'm saying? Soldier Boy mentioned it, and he showed it was like I think it's like a video on YouTube where he mentioned what he was using it. You know what I'm saying? And actually, one of my sister's old boyfriends, he was making beats. So he used to cut hair, right? So one night, he was cutting hair and he had the beat thing up, and I told him let me mess with it. So you know what I'm saying? I started messing with it, and I fell in love with it. Like on a school night, I didn't even want to go to school the next day. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even want to go to school the next day. So I stayed up all night messing with that. And I was like, man, I like this. Like I can do it. Cause I had figured it out so fast. You know, I'm so quick to catch on just by looking at it, how the program works. You know, how you press play and watch the line move. And all you gotta do is pretty much count the blocks. I had picked up on that real quick. So I'm like, okay, this is how you do it. So at that moment, I think I got my own computer, probably a few months or so after that. And you know what I'm saying? I just sat at the house, messed with it all day. Every chance I got, I was on the computer. And I figured it out. It probably didn't take me but like a few months to figure it out, if that. You know what I'm saying? So it went from there.
And this all real deal, 11, 12 years old.
Yeah, real deal, 11, 12 years old.
That's crazy. Bro, shout out to Big Soldier too, man.
Oh, yeah.
So many different things. You were on Limewire back in the day?
Man, I wasn't into no social media.
Yeah.
I didn't even know, like, this was back when MySpace was going on.
Right.
I was one of them kids. Hey, I'm outside on my bike playing basketball and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even know nothing about no MySpace and nothing. By the time I picked up on everything, Facebook jumped off.
Right.
Like I wasn't even big on social media. So yeah.
So it was this thing called Limewire where basically everybody would go and you would just like, it was basically illegally downloading music. Like everyone did it.
I remember people used to talk about it.
Yeah, bro. So what Soldier Boy did, this is kind of off topic, but just like speaking to the genius of Soldier Boy, like he would change all the names to the biggest songs. So you would go to download 50 Cent in the club, and then you would download it and you would click listen and it would just go, you, and then Soldier Boy would start playing. He changed
Man, I did not know that.
Yeah, he would change the names to all the biggest songs, and he would label his song as that. And then someone would type it in and they would download it, and then you would just hear that. It was crazy.
Man, that's a fucking genius.
Yeah, it's low-key genius too, because like it's super annoying, but if the music is actually good, it will work. And obviously that song was like, that's probably like a diamond song or some crazy.
He had us dancing our ass off.
Yeah, that's crazy. But all right, so at that time you're 11, 12 years old, etc. And then you said you moved to Atlanta. How old are you when you end up moving to Atlanta?
Well, the first time I was probably like, probably 20, 19, 20, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I guess what kind of happens, obviously a lot happens in those middle years, but as far as you and your like producing career, is the first like ages like 11 to like middle school years, etc. Are you kind of just like experimenting with it, or are you going like full-fledged, like working with artists in the city, making tracks together, etc.?
Well, around by that time, I was just still learning it, you know what I'm saying? Because like my first 2 to 3 years, the beats weren't really, they weren't really there. So it like wasn't nobody rapping on that shit. Right. But it's like once time go by, like say middle school, I had a lot of people in the city that was like, man, you getting better. And every time, there used to be a lot of rappers in the city. So it's like every time I made a new beat or some new beats, I took it to this group that was in the city. And they was like, damn, you getting better, because one of the guys used to make beats.
Yeah.
He was like, man, you getting better. So when they started rapping on them, I'm like, okay, I must be getting better for real. So that kind of kept me going right there. You know what I'm saying? So I just kept perfecting my craft. And then the artists in the city came around. Then I started working with a lot of artists in the city. That came up through like junior high school and high school.
That's crazy. So especially in like junior high school, is it mostly like you as the kid in the studio, way younger than everybody else, like a lot of like grown people rapping and stuff, and you're just the kid in the back making the beats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, that's
yeah,
crazy.
that's exactly how it was.
Yeah. All right. So that gets us to like the junior high, maybe like early high school years. How does it kind of play out from there? Like everyone just starts hearing the sound. Were you using a tag back then? Like how was the beats really catching on?
Yeah, I had a little tag, but I would never tell you what the tag. I would never tell y'all what it was before Twysted Genius, man. But yeah, I had a little tag going, and I was just still on the same thing, like just perfecting, getting better and better until you know what I'm saying. I got a lot of people in my city on to what I'm doing, and now it's time to spread out to other surrounding areas. You know what I'm saying? So by the time I hit high school, I was working on that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, by the time I hit high school, I was working on that, and then once I got to the point where I was driving, then during high school, like I'm like, dang, like every weekend or every other weekend, I'm coming to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to Atlanta, back and forth to Atlanta, down there twice a month in high school.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think that there's something to that too, because like a lot of people that I see like do like I wouldn't call it necessarily like a slow build, but kind of like a slow build in comparison to someone who's just like boom, one day, up the next day, not heard from the next day. Like it seems like they kind of use that formula, which I'm sure you don't think about it as a formula, but just like, okay, I'm really building with everyone in my city. Then the places surrounding it start fucking with it. Then just going. But I think that that's really smart in comparison to like just moving to Atlanta and then just seeing if it works. You know what I mean? Because I feel like people just move to this area so often to see if it works. And it's like, you got to kind of have it built up at some point before that.
Exactly. That's what I was doing because what was happening over the years, like I said, when them times while I was coming back and forth, I was networking. I was doing beat battles. I was going to different networking events. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and round by say, okay, in high school, like my senior year, matter of fact, I created a Twitter account. Now, so that was my first social media,
Or
Twitter
social
account.
media. Finally got on social media.
Yeah, I finally got on social media. I remember the day and everything. I got on social media. I got on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? That's when once I got on Twitter, I got to following all the artists. You know what I'm saying? Like Meek Mill and all of them was going crazy. So now I'm looking for emails. So then I get a couple emails from coming to Atlanta and back and forth and from Twitter. So now while I'm in Mississippi, I'm emailing beats. So I probably I make it my business to send out a certain number of beats every week. You know what I'm saying? And every artist, every email I had, I used to send like literally like 50 to 60 beats while I'm in Mississippi. You feel me? So
You kind of created a standard to hold yourself to of like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I'm sending out this many here, etc.
yeah,
So let me ask you
exactly.
this. I guess it was a little bit of different times back then, but also I feel like people these days get like demotivated by the email because they don't know that it's for sure something that's going to get heard. Did that ever kind of pop into your mind or you were just going?
It did. It still do to this day.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's like, it is what it is. But it's like the timing of, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta shoot your shot.
Got to.
You just gotta shoot your shot, you know what I'm saying? Take a whack at it because you never know what you might get. Of course, you know what I'm saying, if you got an email, especially like say for instance, if you on Twitter and anything, an artist put their email out, you got 1 million producers following them. They about to flood that shit. So it's like, shit, you might as well stick your foot in there. You might get lucky. You might be one of the lucky ones that they click on and actually like. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just took a whack at it and man, let it be what it be. It is what it is and keep on pushing.
That's definitely, I mean, I always feel like, don't get me wrong, like when you're doing that, you are kind of like a number in like a stack rather than like, this is so-and-so producer. Like you're kind of just like another piece of paper in the stack. But at the same time, the like quality of the beats or loops, if you're a loop or sample maker sending to bigger producers, like the quality will stand out for sure. And sometimes they might just be mashing the arrow, just listening to everything for 2 seconds. Like you never know what could happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, how does it feel for you? We're jumping ahead. We're going to get right back on the timeline, but how does it feel for you? Because now you're on that opposite side where you're getting 1,000 loops sent to you every 5 minutes, I'm sure. So how does it feel for you now to kind of be the one to go through it and do it like that?
It's crazy because it's crazy you say that because I literally get 1,000 loops a day. Like I be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? But I'm the type of guy, like I was just saying, like it's a certain time, like literally all yesterday. That's what I spent doing, going through emails, checking out loops, download loops, you know what I'm saying? And the guys that I actually like, I'll make a folder for them and I just put all their loops in there. That way I already got my loop guys, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to just be using everybody's loops, you know what I'm saying? So I make my folders to the guys' loops that I actually like. And I just, every time they send me loops, I just go to their loops and, you know, they be pretty much prioritized.
Yeah. Are those guys, are they texting it to your phone instead of emailing it, or you just know their names, so you're picking them through in the email?
Yeah, I'm picking them through the email because like I said, if a loop maker send me, somebody might hit me on Instagram or something like that, and I just give them a shot or something like that, you know what I'm saying? I tell them the email to send to, listen to them. If I like their loops, then, you know what I'm saying, they'll pretty much keep sending them, because once they got the email, they're going to keep flooding it anyway. So it's like, after so long, I know they email, so I know who this is, you know what I'm saying, who this is. It's like that.
Yeah, bro, even for me, I made a new email. So I got Carl at Create Music Group, and then I got Beats at Create Music Group. And I made a Beats email so people would stop sending beats and loops to my work email, and they still send it to the work email every time.
It never failed, man. I had to go through, man, my email be so full of loops, man. I'd be like, dang. See, I take some on days where I don't feel like really making beats. Them the days I just go through the emails and just check the loops out and download the loops. Other than that, they just sit there and they build up.
So 2 things in the loop game. I'm gonna ask the good and the bad. The good in the loop game, is there any, and I know sometimes producers like to keep them a secret, so feel free to not say anything, but is it any just super hard loop makers that you've been rocking with lately?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Some of them guys, them guys that be overseas and shit,
Jeez.
man, them little bastards be hard as shit.
Going crazy.
They be hard. I be like, what the fuck? I don't know what the fuck they drinking and eating over there. But man, that shit crazy. They be too hard over that water.
Bro, I don't know if you've been seeing, there's a meme going around on Twitter, and it's like a picture of like Peter Parker with the glasses on and everything. And everyone's just like, if the person sending you loops looks like this, it's gonna be some crazy shit.
I saw that, and I saw that yesterday, and I fell out laughing because I was like, "Ooh, that's true." So it never fails every time. If he looked like that, he finna send you some fire shit.
I'm crazy. I want to see if I can find it.
I just seen that yesterday.
Yeah, he's gonna send you some fire. But always salute to the loop makers, salute to the ones doing it the right way, etc. But we gotta touch on both sides, you know what I mean? As far as like the downside of using loops, have you ever had like an instance where a placement gets kind of messed up because the loop was stolen, or the loop maker's trying to ask for some crazy shit? Has that ever happened?
Twice.
2 times.
We lost a placement because one this guy sent me the loop, but the loop contained a sample which came from another producer's beat, which was flipped all around. So at that point, I couldn't even find the original song because it was so screwed off. You know how they do the tricks and shit to it and this and that. I couldn't find the original song. All he told me was he got it from this producer, and I went to look it up on YouTube. I couldn't figure it out, and they didn't even do nothing with the song. Song hard too. I ain't even gonna say the artist and who the feature was on it. And I'm bro, fuck the whole play, fuck the whole shit up. And that's and I, no lie, I kind of steered away from him for that.
From that producer, from loops altogether.
Now from that producer, from that loop maker. And
it's unfortunate, but you have to.
Yeah, like you can't fuck up, you can't be fucking up the play like that. Like, if anything, just let me know that from the jump. You know what I'm saying? That way I see what I need to do before I use it. Cause that's kind of like, even when I use a sample, like even when I go off, like even if something got like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you use a sample that contains words or a voice or a song, I at least, before I use it, go try to find the original song or whatever before I touch it, just in case, you know what I'm saying, something else happened or I have to come up with a backup plan. Cause I did it before on one on a track I produced that's out there. I ain't gonna say what it is, but I had to do that. But when they hit me about it, I already knew what to do because I already expected it. I was on some just in case type shit. So I remade the whole shit and you wouldn't even know to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
definitely keep that one in the tuck.
Oh yeah. I never talk about it. Never. But what I was gonna say? But yeah, and there was another situation where this loop guy was sending me loops, and come to find out, he was just getting loops from people saying they his.
Yeah, I know all about that.
Yeah, and we had a placement. So when I hit the guy, when the artist posted the thing on his page, so you know, I posted it and everything, and the guy who actually made the loop hit me up. He was like, "Yo, this is my loop." And I'm like, "You sure?" I didn't believe him, but when he told me exactly where he got the loop, where I got the loop from without me saying it, I'm like, "Oh yeah, this guy full of shit." So I X'd him out the whole equation and I deleted his whole folder, all that. Cause it's like, bro, like, why would you do that? Like, if these are not your loops, don't send me your loops. Don't send me loops saying they're yours. Like, let me know who they is. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that way, even if I make a play on it, I can give you at least a cutoff for sending me they loop.
Right.
So without you being the middleman to give me that loop, I wouldn't have got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had that happen. That was the craziest shit ever. So, but it was so mad, man. I'm like, bro, you can't get mad, bro. That was just dumb as hell. Like, you should have just said it wasn't your loop and come to find out a lot of other producers had told me he had been doing it. So I completely X'd him out. I won't even respond to him on Instagram or nothing no more.
There's a couple of those. I feel like I hear about a new that person every like 2-3 months of like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is too crazy. It's almost like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of producers who the artist thinks that producer has the hardest beats, but that producer really has to thank the loop makers because the loops are so crazy and the artist just doesn't know that. So don't get me wrong, I'm aware of that. Salute to the loop makers on those types of things. But in my opinion, when shit like that happens, it's just honestly like disrespectful because it's like, bro, the loop maker cannot get the placement themselves a lot of the time. They rely on like a you or someone similar to you who throws the drums on that's connected to the artist. So like never put that person who's doing you a favor in the first place in a crazy situation where they end up just looking dumb.
Yeah, I watch out for that still to this day. Like that's why I stick to the loop guys I got. And I ain't gonna say it's kind of hard for me to get a new loop person, but I don't even really accept new loops at this point. Like it's very, very rare. Like,
would you ever think about signing like some sample or loop makers to yourself so it's all just in-house and you don't have to worry about it?
Oh yeah, I'm working on that right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on that right now as we speak.
Twysted Genius Records in full effect.
Hey.
So you might have to get me a deal, man. Start producing. Now back in the day, I downloaded, like, I've said this a bunch of times, but I've downloaded like a cracked out Logic and was trying to figure it out, bro. I could not figure it out for I was about to throw my laptop out the door. I was getting so frustrated. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah. But back to kind of like the time frame of everything. So you start moving around, you get a car, you're driving to and from Atlanta, like, 2-3 times a month, damn near. At what point, at that point, you're in high school, so you're what, like 18 years old? Are you just building with a lot of up and coming artists in Atlanta at that point?
Yeah, I was building with, actually, it wasn't even a lot of artists I was building with. I was building with more of a lot of managers and, you know what I'm saying, a couple producers and engineers. I ain't even really get to know artists for real, you know what I'm saying? Cause like most of the events I used to come down for, it was mostly producers and DJs and stuff like that. So I ain't really get in tune with no artists until like, what was it, 2014 maybe, 13, 14.
And who were some of those first artists that you started working with?
And the first artist, I never forget, that's my brother for life. The first artist I got with was, I don't know if y'all heard of him, was Joe Green.
Mhm.
Yeah, like he the first artist that I kind of worked with when I came down here, and he was doing his thing. He was going crazy. So I'm like, man, we got to tap in. Like it was so crazy because by the time like I said, when I was coming back and forth, I met him at a studio at an event, and he kind of chopped me off. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, who the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? So at the same studio, I came to another event, and he was there again. I'm like, bro, let me get your email. Let me send you some beats. So he gave me the email. I literally, like I said, I sent like 50, 60 beats at a time. And it's like, at that point, you got to fuck with me. So he started rapping on them. So every time I came to Atlanta, we got to working, you know what I'm saying, to the point where I was doing down there his whole project, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's what got it started. So he got some motion going around in Atlanta. So now I'm on his tapes. Now people asking who I am. He telling people who I am. Not everybody want to know. So now it's spreading. So now I got to get there a little more. You feel me? So get to coming down a little more, get to locking in with them. Before you know it, you got people hitting me up for beats.
Left and right.
Left and right. And in the midst of all that, like I said, I used to do beat battles. And everybody used to tell me, like, bro, you got that sound. You got that sound. You need to move to Atlanta. You need to move to Atlanta. So I'm in high school. I'm like, man, I can't move to Atlanta right now. I'm young. I can't make them type of decisions yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man. And on top of that, you know, that leap right there, everybody's scared to make that first leap. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know how it's gonna play out. It's fear. So, and I was scared. I didn't know how it was gonna play out. So after so long, I'm like, man, fuck. Gotta goddamn take that jump. And, you know, just jumped out there and let the wind take me.
Yeah. Did you finish high school or you just went?
Yeah, I finished high school for sure.
Did you do any?
I actually,
Go ahead, my fault.
I actually finished high school and did a little college.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you ended up doing any college. Do you think the college kind of help you at all, or?
Nah, actually, let me get to that story. I actually got my first placement. My